Hey guys, it's Miss Savannah. So today we're going to still be focusing on ecosystems. We're going to go into something called limiting factors. So a limiting factor is anything that controls the growth or survival of a population. So this is anything that controls the growth or decline of a population, and it is called a limiting factor. These can be non-living things or abiotic factors, such as sunlight, wind, water, and temperature. It can also be living factors or biotic factors, like the amount of predators in the area, the amount of prey in an area, the amount of producers. It just really depends. So we're going to go into some examples of some limiting factors in an ecosystem. So let's suppose, let me hide this. We have two mice. So let's think about it. We got two mice. And they produce the standard 56 pups, which is a baby mice, or 56 offspring each year. That is a lot of kids that they are producing. And each of these mice goes on to have 56 babies each year. So we would take 56, and each of those 56 would have another 56. That's a lot of mice every single year. And they just keep multiplying. Soon, we'd be overrun with mice on the planet. That would not be good. They would be eating all of our cheese and eating all of our stuff. So why doesn't this occur? Why are we not overrun with mice on the planet? Because we have limiting factors that limit the growth of a population. So a limiting factor is an abiotic, non-living, or biotic, living factor that restricts the number or limits the number of individuals in a population. So these limiting factors are limiting the amount of mice that we have on the planet, because if we did not have these, we would be overrun with mice. So limiting factors can include competitors, so competing for food. So if there's another animal that also eats the same thing as a mouse, they are competing for that resource and competing for that food. And one of them is going to win and get the food, and one is not going to get the food and will probably starve to death, and that's when they would die. So that is a limiting factor, is competitors. Diseases and parasites. So animals can also get diseases and parasites. So this limits the growth of a population, because if a mouse got a disease or a parasite, it would pass away. Another thing is weather. So if we have a drought, which means we don't have a lot of rain for a long time, then grass won't grow, so the producers would not grow, and then that would make where our primary consumers couldn't eat. And then if our primary consumers couldn't eat, they would starve and die. So then our secondary consumers wouldn't have anything to eat, and so they would starve and die. So weather is a big one as well, because if we're in a drought, those trees and the grass and the bushes that primary consumers eat, we wouldn't have those, and that would really impact a population. Another thing is fires. So there's natural fires that happen all over the world, and this really limits the population, because it can take out 2,000 mice in one night with a fire. And also available habitat. So there might not be a place, like a safe habitat for a mouse to live, and that's why they are overrunning in the cities. And how do I pause it? Okay, never mind. Not pausing it, because it won't let me pause it. Let me see real quick. Pause. All right, sorry for that. I did not know that this little toolbar down here was not working. So anyways, available habitat, that is another limiting factor that can impact the population growth and the survival of a population. Another one is predators. So if there's a lot of predators, so let's just think about it. If we have like some grasshoppers, we have 3 grasshoppers, but we have 1,000 mice that might eat those grasshoppers, then there's not going to be enough food for those predators. So that will also make the predator population go down. And if there's more predators than prey, the prey population is definitely going to go down. So competitors are organisms both cooperate and compete. So they're competing against each other. So these two birds are birds of prey. They live in forests on the edge of fields. They eat mice and other rodents, and they nest in trees. So these would be competitors. They're going to compete for those mice and other rodents. Diseases and parasites. So this is another limiting factor that we were talking about. Diseases and parasites can be dependent on a population size and habitat. So they can really take down the population. Also weather. So we talked about droughts. There's also storms, like really heavy storms like hurricanes, and then flooding. Because let's say, I know we're on the mouse train, but if we have a bunch of mice and they're living in this area and we have a flood, mice can't really swim. Not that I've seen. You might have to YouTube a mouse swimming, but I don't think they can swim very well. So they would also pass away. And then also if it got really, really hot or really, really cold, that can impact a lot of biotic factors or living things in an ecosystem, which can bring down the population. Also fires. So fires lead to secession, which is a predictable change in the community over time. Available habitat. So human activities play a large role. So like development, damming of a lake, rivers, clear cutting forests. So when we go and cut down those trees, that is really impacting a whole entire ecosystem, and that can really bring down the population. Also predators. So predator-prey relationships can be a delicate balance between the two populations. And as the prey population increases, the predator population increases. But as the prey population decreases, then so does the predator population. And here we have an example here of a lynx and a hare, or like a bunny. So you can see like when the prey population goes up, so does the predator population. And when the prey population goes down, so does the predator population. So these are directly correlated. They move together. And that is all I have for limiting factors in an ecosystem. So just a reminder, a limiting factor is anything, biotic or abiotic, living, non-living, that controls the growth or survival of a population. So these are things that affect or impact the population. Okay, thank you guys so much. I hope you learned something today. Hope you have a good day. Bye.